Is film school worth it? Well, I can only talk about my time at Arizona State University, but the short answer is no, absolutely not, unless you're in a certain situation like I was. Let me explain. So, why do people want to go to film school? There are many reasons why. Maybe it's you want to learn the craft, you want to have access to certain gear, you want to network, maybe you need structure, or maybe you just don't know what part of the industry you want to be in yet, and so you're trying to figure that out. And for some reason, many people still think that you need to go to film school in order to be in the industry, in order to make it. And I once thought that, but the truth is, you don't need to go to school at all to get into the industry. The reality is that if you're going to ASU, the tuition is going to range from 13 to 35,000, and that doesn't really match up with what you're probably going to make coming out of college as a film student. You're not going to walk out of film school and immediately be hired as a director or a DP, cinematographer, or editor. You're most likely going to come out of film school and be a PA, a production assistant, or be an assistant in whatever department you're interested in. So either assistant editor, assistant camera op, or something like that. And to be honest, most companies, most production companies don't even care if you have a degree because you're going to learn on set anyway. So, and that brings me to my next point of real world experience versus school. And to me, it doesn't even compare. During my senior year at ASU, I decided to actually go out into the industry and I started out as a PA. And I learned so much more being on set as a PA than I did in my entire 2, 3 years at ASU. And the cool thing about being on set is that you can go to different departments and just ask questions or observe. Like for me, I went to ASU for cinematography. So when I was on set as a PA, I would kind of hang around the camera guys and just observe, ask questions. And just doing that alone taught me so much about how the industry works, what kind of cameras are actually used, lenses, follow focus, all the kind of stuff that ASU never really taught me. So I just think that ASU could have done a better job at teaching us the basics like set etiquette and just different types of equipment that's used on set, how all the different departments work together cohesively. I think ASU should focus less on the student film aspect of everything and prep us more for the real world experience. Because if I'm being honest, nobody really cares about the student films. There's just a small chance that a student film is going to launch somebody's career. So I think that ASU should prep us more for how the real world is and less on like the fantasy idea of us becoming like a top cinematographer right out of film school. It's just not realistic. Now, that's not to say everything at ASU was bad. I still learned a lot. One of the big things I liked was that they allowed us to kind of mingle in different departments. So I was able to kind of learn the editing side, avid media composer, and I learned that I never want to be an editor in my life. And then I also got to learn about directing, and that was kind of fun. But my main focus was cinematography, and so it's cool that they kind of make you go into these different departments and figure out what you like and what you don't like. And I also had access to like black magic suites and things like that and different cameras. I wouldn't say they were industry standard cameras or anything like that, but it was still cool to be able to access the type of equipment that I don't have at my house. So that's one of the pluses. And then also, I think the best part of going to film school was the connections that I made. I was able to find like 2 to 3 veterans that I like clicked with very well. And to this day, 2, 3 years later, we continuously work on projects together. Whenever I get a job, I'm hiring them out. Whenever they get a job, they hire me out. So it's I think that's the best thing that ASU gave me was the connections. And honestly, that's the key point about the film industry. It doesn't matter about the school, it's all about your networking and your connections. If you don't have a good connection base, you're not going to make it in this industry. You have to know people, you have to be personable, likable. And so I think the best thing to do is just go meet people and make those connections. All right, so who should actually go to film school? If you're the type of person that likes structured environments and you need like hands-on guidance and things like that, or if you want 2 to 4 years of figuring out what part of the film industry you're interested in, then go for it. Definitely check it out and see if it fits you. However, for those that are already self-motivated, you're debt averse, you're already working, and you want to learn hands-on on set, actually in the industry, then I would honestly skip it. Don't waste your money going to school. Just get straight into the industry. Reach out to production companies, see if you can PA on set. Yeah, just reach out to people that are already in the industry and see if you can assist them. Yeah, sometimes you'll have to work for free, but that's kind of how you get started out here in the film industry in Phoenix. So also another reason you might want to go to film school is if you're a veteran like me and you have your GI Bill benefits, they pay for your schooling. So it's a no-brainer. You're not losing money, you're actually gaining money every month, and you're getting those connections and you're learning. So if you have those benefits, take advantage of it. All right, and before you pick the school that you want to go to, you need to research the type of work that's happening in your city. So for example, in Phoenix, most of the work is commercial. You're not going to see a lot of TV shows, movies, or any narrative work like that. It's commercial, documentary, and sports. So if that's the type of work you want to do, by all means come to Phoenix. But if you're trying to do movies and stuff, you might want to look elsewhere. And I think that's one of the things I didn't like about ASU is that they were prepping us for making movies and not necessarily what the industry is here in Phoenix. So I wish they did a better job at prepping us for the Phoenix-based industry. But one of the biggest lessons I learned is that you don't need film school to learn about film. Everything is easily accessible online right now. You can go on YouTube, nofilmschool.com. There's plenty of websites out there that can teach you the basics of everything. And I think the easiest way to break into industry without going to film school is, like I said before, reaching out to companies and people that are already in the industry and asking to help on set. And like I said, you won't get paid, or you get paid little in the beginning, but over time you'll make more connections and you'll start seeing that pay increase. Anyways, that's my take on film school. If you're feeling uncertain about whether or not you should go, I would say pray on it. Ask God for guidance. He always knows what's best for you. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. God bless. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Say hi. Milo, wave. Wave. Okay. He just wants the ball.